Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tammy and this is Happiness Created. Today I am joining in on the A Little Bit Rustic challenge hosted by Indie Annie Jones and Connie's Nails and Creative Creations. So I would like to thank them for allowing me to join in this challenge. So my first project, I have one of those metal flowers with the welcome sign, and I am trying very, very hard to get the hanger off without destroying the welcome part of the sign. I was unsuccessful with that. As you'll see in a minute, I end up just taking the flower off with the chain because I do end up bending the welcome part. Now, once I get some of the petals straightened out, I do take my white Waverly chalk paint and I give it 2, or maybe it's 3, very heavy coats to cover all of the orange. So once I dried it a little with my heat gun, I didn't dry it completely. I am going back over it with the Waverly chalk paint in silver lining, and I'm just doing a little bit of dry brushing with that. Now, as you can see, my original frame was not going to work for this flower. It was way too big. So I took a couple of different sized frames that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I ended up deciding to use the smaller shadow box type frame. So I'm going to give that 2 coats of the Waverly white chalk paint as well. And now I'm just going to place a couple Jenga blocks underneath the flower just to support it and have something to glue to because the center was too low. And I would have had to have just used the petals, which probably wouldn't have worked. So between the Jenga blocks and those little square blocks that you get from Crafter Square, I was able to get the flower to stay. And now I'm just taking more of that silver lining and just doing a little dry brushing on the frame so that it matches the flower. And oops, the flower just popped off. So this is where I end up adding another Jenga block. Believe that I cut the Jenga block in half with my miter shears to make sure that it was the right size. So then I just take a bow that I found at Hobby Lobby. It's burlap and it's got like a little rose in the middle of it. And I glue that to the corner and just kind of tack down the tails a little bit. And that's pretty much it for this project. I love this project. It's one of my favorites that I've ever done. Let me know what you guys think. And now for this next project, I am taking one of those thankful signs and 3 of these little vases. They kind of look like little milk bottles. So as you can see, I am just painting the jars in the Waverly White chalk paint, and then I used my Cricut to cut out some wording. And I am now taking the frame apart. It was really hard getting the paper off, so I just sanded it down a little bit, and then I gave it, I believe I gave it 2 coats of the Waverly White chalk paint as well. And now I'm taking some of the elephant color chalk paint, and I am going to try to distress this a little bit. Now, bear with me here because I'm a little bit new with the distressing thing, and I kind of went a little heavy and had to wipe some of it off. But anyway, so now I am putting the vinyl onto the milk jars so that aren't they cute? Anyway, so, and now I didn't paint the bottom of the jars so that I could hot glue them on and they would stay better. So that's all I did. And then I have some, what are those called? Hibiscus, I think. And I cut a piece of that white cloth from the automotive section just to lift the flowers up a little so that they were, more visible. But that's it. That's this project. I think it's so stinking cute. So let me know what you guys think. And then this last project, I am using 6 of the 4x6 frames and a whole lot of wooden skewers. And what I'm going to do is just take them all apart and take, all the glass and the backing out. And then I'm also taking the tabs that hold the back on. I am going to take all of those out, and then I am going to use the gel super glue from Dollar Tree and the hot glue, and I am going to glue the glass pieces back in. And now all I'm doing is taking some Windex and I am going to just wash all of the glass pieces. And if you're going to be making this, don't do what I did. I was a little heavy-handed with the hot glue and it kind of oozed out the sides. So that's why you see me with the blade. I'm trying to just cut off the extra pieces of hot glue. So now I am going to glue 2 of the frames together to start making my lantern. And then I realized that I have not taken care of the skewers yet. So I kind of put that aside and work on the skewers, getting them all cut down to size, and then painting and using a little bit of the antique wax on them as well. And now that I have all of the skewers cut down to size and painted and stained, I'm going to go ahead and start assembling all of them. So what I'm doing here, and I'm sure you guys have figured it out by now, I'm making a lantern and I'm using the skewers to make crosses in the windows, or X's in the windows. And now that I have the last piece in, I can go ahead and continue with assembling the actual lantern. And again, I'm just using super glue and hot glue to attach everything together. And now I'm just taking one of those foam boards and I'm going to trace around it because I'm going to use that for the bottom. Now I don't want the bottom to be secured. I want it to be able to move around because I want to be able to change the floral inside that I'm going to put inside whenever I feel like it. And then after using a couple different sizes, I figure out which candle size I want for the inside of the lantern. And now I'm just taking some greenery that I have in my stash and I'm going to make a circle, like a wreath, for the bottom of the base of the lantern that will encircle the candle. And then I just take some of the white beads that came out. I don't know if these came out at Christmas or if they came out at Valentine's. But anyway, they came out. So anyways, I'm just going to wrap that around and kind of weave it into the greenery. And then I am going to take some of those beautiful little plastic roses. They're like mini roses. And I'm just going to place a few of them down at the bottom on the wreath. And now I'm just going to take some of the antique wax and I am just going to go over everything. Just I thought it was going to be lightly, but it ended up being a little heavy-handed. But I still like the way it turned out. So here is the final product. I think it came out so beautiful. I have it on my TV stand. I love it. So I want to thank Indiana Jones and Connie's Nails and Creative Creations. I will have their links down in the description box as well as the playlist. If you have not visited my channel yet, I hope that you will do so and hit that subscribe button and give me a big thumbs up. And share this with your family and friends and have them share with theirs. I thank you all so much for all your support and I will see you soon. Bye.